What if the real reason most people feel stuck isn't laziness? It's quiet surrender. Not the dramatic kind. No breakdown, no rock bottom. Just a slow drift. A life where stress gets handled with scrolling. Where boredom gets handled with stimulation. Where discomfort gets handled with escape. And after enough escapes, the mind forgets how to hold pressure. That's the trap. The world doesn't need to destroy you. It only needs to keep you comfortable. Stoicism was built for people like us. People who want calm. People who want discipline. People who want to be hard to break. 8 brutal Stoic laws. Not to feel inspired. To get trained. Because self-discipline isn't a personality trait. It's a system. Comfort looks innocent. A warm bed, a convenient meal, a night of just relaxing. But comfort has a hidden lesson. Leave when it gets uncomfortable. Over time, that lesson trains the mind to avoid pressure. And a mind that avoids pressure becomes fragile. Stoicism teaches the opposite. It teaches controlled discomfort, not self-punishment. Self-training. Here's an example most of us recognize. A long day. Low energy. A plan to train, read, build something. Then the mind starts bargaining. Default response? Tomorrow. And tomorrow becomes a lifestyle. Trained response? One hard choice on purpose. A single rep that proves we're still in command. Not a full transformation. A signal. Drill. Today. 5 minutes. The no negotiation rep. Pick one small discomfort and do it immediately. Finish the shower cold for 20 seconds. 20 push-ups. 10 minutes walking with no phone. One message you've been avoiding. Clean one small mess you've been stepping over. No build-up. Just action. Because discipline doesn't begin with confidence. It begins with movement. Where are we calling it rest when it's really retreat? If this is the kind of training you want more of, subscribe. We're small right now, but we're building something real here. Let's continue. A lot of suffering comes from one sentence. This shouldn't be happening. Because it's not just pain. It's resistance to pain. Stoicism doesn't mean we love injustice. It means we stop letting unfairness steal our stability. Life isn't a courtroom. It's a training ground. Bad things happen to good people. Effort doesn't always equal reward. People betray. Plans fall apart. That's not pessimism. That's reality. And reality is where strength is built. Here's an example. You're working hard, quietly. No praise. No reward. No obvious progress. Default response? Bitterness. Why me? Then the discipline collapses. Trained response? You stay on the path anyway. Because the point isn't fairness. The point is who you become. Drill. 2 minutes. The move question. Next time you catch yourself thinking this isn't fair, replace it with, what's my move? Say it once. Then take one action, even small. Because responsibility isn't about blame. It's about power. Pattern interrupt. Are we asking for fairness or asking to be spared from growth? This is the backbone. Everything falls into 2 circles. 1. What you control. 2. What you don't. Most people live backwards. They obsess over opinions. They rehearse arguments in their head. They panic about outcomes. They try to control other people's moods. Then they call it stress. But stress is often just this, trying to steer what doesn't have a steering wheel. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what's in your power, accept the rest." So what's in your power? Your attention, your effort, your choices, your standards, your response. Picture this. You get criticized. Maybe it's valid. Maybe it's not. Default response? Rumination. 3 days of mental noise. A full energy leak. Trained response. One question. Is this within my control? If yes, adjust. If no, release. Drill. 5 minutes. 2 columns. Write. Command. What you can do today. Chaos. What you can't control. Then act on one command item immediately. And let chaos exist without renting space in your head. What are we feeding attention to that has never once obeyed us? The most dangerous voice in the mind isn't hatred. It's negotiation. I'll start tomorrow. I'll do it later. I'll just take the easy version today. It sounds reasonable. That's why it wins. Stoicism trains principle over preference. Because preference changes hourly, principle holds the line. Here's an example. Morning alarm. The body is heavy. The mind offers a deal. Default response? 10 more minutes. Then an hour disappears. Then the day is rushed and reactive. Trained response? No debate. Movement first. Thinking second. Drill. Tomorrow. Feet on floor rule. When the alarm hits, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet on the floor. No negotiation. The first win is physical. And physical wins build mental wins. What has later cost us this year? Outcomes are unstable. You can do everything right and still not get what you wanted. That doesn't mean the work was pointless. It means life is not a vending machine. The Stoic move is simple. Detach from the outcome. Commit to the process. Not because goals don't matter. Because your sanity can't depend on the scoreboard. When you tie your worth to results, you become fragile. When you tie your worth to discipline, you become hard to break. Picture this. 2 weeks of training, 2 weeks of clean eating, no visible change yet. Default response? I guess this isn't working. Then you quit. Trained response? You keep showing up. Because you're not chasing a mirror. You're building a man. Drill, today, the silent win. Do one meaningful action today and tell nobody. Train. Write. Study. Clean up your diet for 24 hours. Handle one responsibility you've been avoiding. No announcement. Let it strengthen your identity quietly. Are we chasing outcomes? Or chasing proof that we matter? Most people don't waste their life in one big decision. They waste it in tiny trades. An hour for comfort, a day for distraction, a year for avoidance. Stoicism uses one hard reminder to wake us up. You will die. Not as a threat, as clarity. Seneca said life isn't short. We just waste a lot of it. Modern translation? The danger isn't death. The danger is drifting until it's too late to steer. Here's an example. You keep delaying the thing you know you need to do. End the habit. Start the project. Fix the relationship. Get your body back. Clean your mind. Default response? Soon. Next month. When things calm down. Trained response? You act because time doesn't wait for comfort. Drill tonight, 3 minutes. The 1-year lens. Ask, if I had 1 year left, what would I stop doing immediately? Write one answer. Then remove one small piece of it tonight. Delete the app. Unfollow the trigger. Clean the environment. Cancel the easy poison. Small cut. Big respect for your time. If the clock above your head was visible, would you still be living the same way? Approval is a drug. Likes, praise, attention, being seen as the guy. The problem is simple. If you need approval, you're adjustable. Stoicism says, live for virtue. Do the right thing because it's right. Even if nobody sees it. Even if nobody claps. Marcus Aurelius kept coming back to this. Do what's right. The rest is noise. Picture this. You could lie to look good, cut a corner to get ahead, betray a standard and call it strategy. Default response? You choose easy. Then you quietly lose respect for yourself. Trained response? You protect your integrity like armor. Because integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about being unbuyable. Drill, 24 hours. One act of quiet integrity. Do one right thing that gives you no applause. Tell the truth in a tough conversation. Keep a promise you could excuse yourself from. Do the work when nobody is watching. Apologize cleanly without defending yourself. This builds the kind of confidence nobody can take. What standard are we trading away just to stay comfortable? Let's lock it in. Law 1. Comfort is the cage. We train discomfort on purpose, in small reps, so pressure doesn't break us when life brings the real weight. Law 2. Feel it, don't follow it. Emotions are signals, not commands. We pause, label the feeling, and choose a disciplined response. Law 3. Stop expecting fairness. Life isn't obligated to be fair. We drop the complaint and focus on the only useful question. What's my move? Law 4. The circle of command. We focus on what we control, effort, attention, choices, and release what we can't so we stop leaking energy. Law 5. Kill the negotiation. The negotiator steals our life. Discipline acts first, then thinks, especially in the first moments of the day. Law 6. Process over praise. Outcomes are unstable, but effort is ours. We build identity through consistent work, not validation. Law 7. Memento Mori. Time is ammunition. We remember death to wake up. Time is limited, so we cut what wastes it and act with urgency. Law 8. Virtue over applause. We live by principle, not approval. Integrity becomes armor, and it makes us harder to break from the inside. Quiet defeat doesn't look like chaos. It looks like comfort. It looks like drift. It looks like later. It looks like a life that never gets fully lived. But that's not the man we're building. We're building calm under pressure, discipline when it's boring, a mind that doesn't fold when life pushes. Steel doesn't harden in comfort. Pressure reveals the man. Fire doesn't ruin the strong, it shapes them. If this is the path you're on, subscribe. We're small right now, but we're forging something real. We don't run from the fire. We step into it. That's how we stay forged. Thank you for training with us today. Watch our next video.